Welcome to another video from alpacaguild.com. It's been a couple of really cold days here. In fact, the hills behind me have even had snow on the last couple of days. That's quite exceptional for this area. And we've had to really think about the food that we're giving to our alpacas to get them through those cold nights, really give them the energy that they need to keep themselves warm, as well as making sure that obviously they've got the shelter that they need and that we're not having them in sort of too many of the exposed areas of the farm. So as well as the grass, of which there's still plenty of that, in fact it's growing fast this time of year, they always have access to a bale of hay, so that's dry roughage. We keep that in the shelter. They can help themselves to that as and when they like, so they really sort of control what their intake is of it. We occasionally put some around in the paddocks as well, just sort of encourage that sort of foraging nature of them. But there's a couple of other feeds that we like to give to them. The first one here is lucerne chaff. So it's basically very finely chopped up pieces of hay that's very high in energy, and this will really give them a lot of additional body fat and help them to get through those cold days and nights. So we give them 1 to 2 sort of decent sized fists of that. We've also got these are alpaca nuts. Now these are specially formulated for camelids, so for alpaca and for llama, and they've got all the trace elements, the nutrients, everything that they need to get really good body condition, and we give them a cup of those. Now in order to give these to them, we've chosen these. So you may recognise one of these from the video that we did on troughs, because you can get a trough in this size as well. It's large enough that you can get all of the feed in that you need to for an individual animal, but small enough that you can just have one for each of them, and sometimes they run between them, but they typically stick to their own one. What's great about these, they've got a really good strong bracket on the back. So in some areas we might have a plank, say at the back of a shelter, which we can hook these onto, or if you've got the right type of gate and you're comfortable with the weight on your gate, then you can just hook them on like that. It also gives you the ability to set the height that you want this to be. There's different ideas as to what the height should be. Typically alpacas, like any sort of ruminants, will want to eat off the ground. That's where the grass is, but at the same time they can eat from trees. Some people believe these should be a little closer to the ground, but being off the ground is not a problem either. One thing that is important though is to make sure that you've got a hole in the bottom to let the water out if you're going to mount them to anything that might not be able to take the additional weight. They could get quite heavy when they're full. So essentially I'm just going to give 2 good scoops of the chaff, a decent sized cup of the nuts, and then we can just put this over here and the alpacas will be able to come along and forage from this. Let's go and see how they're doing today. Oh, you've been rolling, haven't you? All your beautiful fleece is all covered in dirt. So this is Natalia. She's one of our most friendly of girls, aren't you? You love a bit of attention. Not far off getting their fleece cut now. About time you were shorn. Oh, like a good head scratch, don't you? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Oh. Yes, you do.